Shavuos. Cholev. Okay. Well then, they should help. Fine. Shosh Yigdim Yisrael Naisel Nishma. English, Yiddish, French, Spanish, huh?
Whatever you speak.
English, yeah, English is fine.
English. Shosh Yigdim Yisrael Naisel Nishma. When Yidden, how do you say Yigdim in English?
Preface.
Preface. Oh. Nasa before Nishma. So the Gemara says, Yord Malach HaShoris, V'koshulem Shnei Ksor, the Malachim came, and they gave him 2 crowns, Echad Keneged Nasa, Echad Keneged Nishma. One for Nasa, one for Nishma. That's Gemara. Now, this the Rebbe is gonna, this is called, the whole Hemshech is called B'Shosh Ekdimu, there's only a few questions going to be here, and don't worry, we're not going to get back to it. So basically the question is, Shmos, and you know, the simple meaning of these words are, the Mash and Nitnu Lahem Aksorim, why did they gain these crowns? Who Mipnei Sheikdimu Nasel Nishma, because they, how do you say it, prefaced?
Yes.
Nasa before Nishma. That's why deserving of these crowns, the special idea of a crown. What's a crown? It's only someone special gets it. Like another Gemara explained in length what's a crown. This mind is going to go into Kesed B'Chalal. What's B'Chalal the musik of Kesed, not the specialty of the Kesed. What is a Kesed? Pashtus, a Kesed, something special, so you only get it when you did something special, something you didn't have to do. So it simply would mean that because you were Magdim, Nasal Nishma, they were worthy of getting these crowns. If they would fakir say Nishma before nice, they wouldn't get it. It would be Shashmi or Bishvilasi, there's nothing new. If you're gonna, the person, the Yidden would say Nishma Venasa, there's nothing special about it, so there's no deservance of crown. Why? It's mashma here is saying that they wouldn't get 2. It's as if it's one bringing the other. I can't have Nasif without Nishma. So it's not 2 actions. You say Nasa before Nishma, it's 2 different things. There's Nasa and there's Nishma. So maybe you can get 2 different things. Al Kuponim, the advantage is firstly they had a specialty, and also that was dafke in such order. But when he says later that he got 1 for Nasa, Nishma, mashma from this, it seems like Shashnek Sorim, Hirak Mishum Sha'omru Nasa Nishma. Not because they said something first and something later, rather the mere fact that they were ready in these 2 parts of them. Nasa, the Keich Hasi, is ready to give themselves over, and Nishma, their understanding to give over to the Eibishter. So for these 2, so to speak, the giving themselves over to the Eibishter, so deserving of these 2 crowns. He doesn't say that one is for Nasa and Nishma, and one is because they preface, how do you say, they said the one Nasa before Nishma. If so it's no mention of it. If they would say that one is for the 2, giving themselves over in 2 different aspects of their life, so to speak, which will say it encompasses the whole person, the Nasa of the person, and the Nishma of the person. And another thing is the way they did it, so they got another crown. But it doesn't say that. So, so where is this advantage, the fact that they said Nasa before Nishma? Where do we see this stressed in the crowns? Where did it fall away? What they gave for it? And it's mashma the Pashto Maimon Azal that it is for that. So the beginning and the end of the Maimon Azal is a steer one to another. Understood? Yeah? First. Also, we have to understand, am I going too fast?
No, go ahead.
Also, we have to understand why the giving of the crowns was through the Malachim. We find some places, but the Rabbi, Kadeshim, Safe Parsha, here I see some wrote Kuvdal. Anyways, it says like this. I think it's Chavdal. I don't know, maybe the guy didn't know why it says the language of B'cholif. So it says over there, Moshe Melech, Shebnei HaMedina, Otru Legimel HaToris. Gives a Moshe for the Gimel Kedushas we say in every day, or on the Parsha it says 3 times, Kadeshim Tiyu, Kadeshim Tiyu, and Kadeshim is Kadeshim, so it's 3 times Kodesh. So the question is, why 3? So the Medrash brings a Moshe Melech, Shemnei Medina, Otru Legimel HaToris. The people gave him 3 crowns. And what did the Medrash continues? Ma Asa Melech, what did the king do with the crowns? Echo Nosan Bereishe. and two he gave in the son of the head of his children. And the Medrash concludes, Kach al yenim achtirim b'chol yem la'kadosh baruch hu gimel ha'toris. The al yenim say for the Eibishter 3 ha'toris. They give the Eibishter 3 crowns. We'll learn later, the Maimon will understand what is the meaning of saying Keser. Other places it says clearly in Chassidus, that's the idea of saying Keser Yitluch Hashem Elokeinu Malachim. They're giving the Eibishter Keser, the realization of Keser. We'll get it.
The Ayin refer to Malachim.
Malachim, yeah. So it says they give the Eibishter 3 crowns, Shem Gimel Kedushas, 3 holinesses, which we'll see later how it's connected, the crown and holiness. It's very connected. Not lechad nosen bereishe. One he took and put on his head. Shnayim nosen bereish bonav, and the other 2 he put on the head of his children. It's going on the. So we see over here, Harei in this medrash seems like the nesinas ha'toresu me'akadosh baruch hu ba'atz. The giving of crowns belongs to the Eibishter himself. The kaneimer yor the malach hashoris v'koshu. Here it says that the malach hashoris are the ones that gave the crown.
Are these the same crowns?
Oh, so the question is it the same crowns? So you can say it's not, because here it's being special by B'Shasha giving so nice al-nishman. Here's every single day, the Gimel Kedushas. But I guess the diuk is the idea of a keser. Who has this crown to give? Who gives crowns to the Yidden, so to speak? So over there it's mashma, it's coming direct from the Eibishter. And here it says,
But here the Eibishter himself is makabel from the Malachim.
So for sure they could give directly. Yeah.
They can give it direct. They're the ones giving it.
The question maybe when it goes to the Eibishter gives it, it's something more worthy of. I don't know the answer of the Maimer, but Akoponen, you see that there's 2 types of hashpois. It's not the diuk, so to speak. How could it be here? It says like this. Here it's like this. It's more what is it that it says over here? What is it that it says over here? If it's not just keser gzeder shove. Obviously, since it's different ishtalshos of the keser, different ways it came. Obviously, speaking of different objects. And what is it? It's not the question. How could it be? Chassidus is not. It's not so the kasha, it's v'tzorach lahavin. You have to understand, not the kosher. You don't find so much of Chassidus. It's tzorach iyun or the kosher. It's not a regular lashon. It's v'tzorach lahavin. We have to get what's happening over here. Well, yeah, fine. Also, once I remember, he said that in Tanya you find a lot of times of Azay Yuvan. He doesn't ask so many questions. Of Azay Yuvan. You learn Chassidus, automatically you will understand everything. It's not like the ikr is on the kasha. If it's in the mames, will know the truth. Automatically, everything will make sense. Well, fine. So he says over here, he says, even though I'm asking such a strong question, also there he mentions that the Yenim are the one that gives the crown. Fine. So it's not such a strong question. You see the Malachim are in touch with the crowns, but why the Yidden over here came through the Eibishter, here it comes straight from the Malachim. In the Mishnah of Avis, it says, Gimel Ksorim. It's another place we speak about crowns. We'll know what crowns, we'll be able to get a general picture to explain all these places. It says it's 3 crowns: Keser Teira, the Keser Kudim, the Keser Malchus. It says Keser Shem Tev Eila Al Gabeim. Keser Shem goes above all these 3. Harei Sheyesh Gimel Ksorim. So we see that there's 3 crowns, and these 3, the Yidden have all 3. Sai Teira, Sai Kudim, Sai Malchus. Ve'kanei Meh Shekoshu Lehem Rak Beis Ksorim. And here it says that they only gave Yidden 2 crowns. Also, we have to understand. Because the Mishnah Gimel Ksorim, there's 3 crowns. You're saying Dal Ksorim. If you count the details, you see that eventually he mentions the 4th one too in Keser Shem Tev with the Keser Shem Tev. If so, the law Melech Choshev Keser Shem Tev b'minyan kol Ksorim. So why doesn't he count it together with the other 3? V'yemer Dal Ksorim. So why does he divide it? And this is 3, and then there's some the El Gabein, which is a separate, not in the count. The Gam, we have to understand now. Al-Loshen She'ela Al-Gabein, he goes on top of them. What does this mean? What is the meaning? It's on top of them. It's higher than them. Or it's Al-Gabein. Then you have this keser, whatever you can imagine the meaning is. We'll have to know what Taka means. Fine. So this is all these questions. Now he's going into detail of the 3 Ksorim which is mentioned in the Mishnah. V'hinei, Hagimul Ksorim, these 3 levels of keser, going to the 3 keser, Teira Chulu. So, but derech klal hein ba gimul kavim. Generally, this is the 3 different kavim. Kav yamin, smil, and emtza. Keser kol hunehu, which is giving, and chesed bur and tiferes. Yeah, giving is the right. Smil is more gvuris, withholding. And tiferes is a mixture of both, basically. Like rachamim, you have pity, even though you know the person's state, he's not deserving. still I'm going to give him. That's basically the idea of Tiferes. It's scholars of both. It's included both. On one hand, he knows what's happening, not like Chesed, which is oblivious. He doesn't, he's just giving good. He sees only good in everybody. Not like Vura that only sees hard, is severe. He means he's judging. And he sees everything for he really is. He sees that if he's not royal, he's not going to give. Mashiach Rachamim is, although he's not deserving, still I have Rachmanis and I give him. It's the scholars of the Chesed and Gvura. So he says over here, Keser Cohen, the in of Cohen is connected with Kava Yamin. Why? The Kiyudu, the Kain of Prinas Chesed. Kain is the idea of Chesed. Kishkos of At the Kain Leilo. It says in the Pasuk, you are a Kain forever. Why does it say? So why do we see? Where do we see Chesed? Kori al Prinas Chesed. We say Chesed is the in of Kain. Why? Because the Ato who Prinas Gili. When you say you is a concept of revelation. When could you say you only if the thing is right here? Shazawa Hefresh being Ato Lohu. That's the difference. You say he, which is someone not here, and Ato means you. The Ato Lenechach is present. He's here. So when you say Va'ato, it's being idea of revelation. And we say Va'ato Kain. Generally, we learn the pasuk say Va'ato. Whoever he's referring to is a Kain. But here he's saying no. Va'ato, the idea of Ato itself, that is Kain. What is connection with Chesed? He says revelation. The Chesed who b'chinas gilui. What's Chesed? Kindness, giving, revelation, giving. Who also we find that Chesed is the reishes gilui hamidus. The beginning of all emotion starts with Chesed, like it says, Yemam mitzav Hashem chaste. Shenikar gam kein yem. It's day, which is every midah is called a day. It's a revelation, it's expression. And Chesed it says is the midah that goes yema the ozel in kuli yemin. You say kol yema v'yema of davidate. Every midah has its impact. The sheish mebreshis in the Ma'amer Mitzvahs connect with the 6 middas. So you see, every midah is a yema revelation, and Chesed is the beginning of everything. Why is Chesed the beginning of everything? In short, you see, even Gvura is also expression of Chesed. You can't have Gvura if you don't have Chesed. Why? For example, you say someone in Australia, not today, it's very hard to say someone in Australia, you could be speaking to him simultaneously. In the old world, 20 years ago, someone in Australia, you didn't even see him before. You didn't know him before. It didn't exist. So you can say you didn't speak to him. Aloch and Ramba, if you don't speak to someone for 3 days, so it's a sign of hatred. I didn't speak to someone in Australia for 3 days, it's hatred. I have something against him. Someone that I have something to do with him, and I don't speak to him for 3 days, that's a showing that I'm holding back. So really the Gvura is a teitzah of Chesed, because I have a shayches, then I can have Gvura. Then I can have withholding. Also, Bichlal, someone has an encounter with someone that's not coming out good, so it's because we have something in common. There we can have a fight. You can't have a fight with someone that you don't know, someone doesn't exist in your life. So there has to be a kesher, a chesed, a izgalus, a kiruv, in order. Just confused as kislev, mikrovli. The fight, the biggest fight is when you're the closest. Yeah, mikrovli. Lashon kiruv. The Chassidus has the question after that kiruv and kiruv is a fight. How they both fit in the same word. But at the end of the day is that the closer you are, that's where the real. That's where you can have a fine. So b'meila, so that's why we see, and more than that, it's the Gvura itself is a bitui of Chesed. Really, it's also because we're close. Therefore, every word we say, everything we say, has an impact because we're close. If it would be not in my world, it doesn't exist. Couldn't care less because it's close. So that's the thing that we see. The Chesed is ozlim kula yemin, because really you have to have some sort of revelation, some connection, which really. Even Gvura Dikipul is also revelation, also a connection with the person. So Mela, it's Ozlum Kuli. So that's the Ayin of Chesed. Then there's the Mishkos of the Siddur Bepirish Baruch Shalom. It says in the Siddur, the Siddur, this is the Keser Malchus who will be Kava Smel. Keser Malchus and Kava Smel on the left side. Why? The Harei Malchus Ikir Binyono Hu Me'akvuris. The main build-up of Melucha is from Gvuris. Why? So he says, Liyes, this Havus Biyah, the creation of all the worlds, Biyah B'yitzirasi, Nivroyim, V'chol HaMshochos V'Hagiluyim B'Biyah, all the revelations in Biyah, Hakil Hu Al Yedei Malchus, everything is through Malchus, Al Kein Binyonu Hu Me'Gvuris, therefore it's created from Gvuris, therefore it's based on Gvuris. What is that one there? So this is what's Melucha. Melucha means, we know always Melucha, A king makes a nation, makes people separate from him. You say, for example, a rich man, what's he give? He gives riches. A chocham gives chochmah. A kind person gives chesed. What does a king give? He doesn't make kings. He doesn't give kingdom. The contrary. He hides himself. He removes himself. And that's what he gives. The richuk, that's what he gives, and that's what makes him a melech, and the people become his am. Because he's removed from me, I cannot get in touch with him. That's why it says, "En yishvin al kisei, en eichvin al susei." You can't, you're not allowed to see him. To remove him, the more that you remove him, that makes him become a king. That gives him the power that he should have ashpor, that he should be able to become subject to him. So it's because he's removed. It's a similar if he's removed, he's not giving anything. That itself, what he's giving. He's giving, being removed. So in a way, we spoke before about gvuris, that gvuris has to be with a connection. That's when gvuris could work. But in a way, melucha is like gvuris, the absolute gvuris. It's like taking gvuris to another level. It's the not connection, the not revealing himself, like when he gives a decree. He doesn't explain himself, and that's why it's a decree. That's why it's coming from a king. The king will start explaining, you know why you should do this for this and this and this. So he's opening himself up, then he's ois melech, he's no more king. The decree, Omar Malka Okar Tura, without explanation. That's what makes him remove. That's what makes him a king. So the binyan from melucha is from gvuris, from being hidden. And here he explained l'maylo. It's even more, it's even stronger. L'mato, sof, there's something in common between the king and the people. L'mayl, the Eibishter had to create something, not himself, had to create nivroim, not a lakus. How is there a possibility to be a nivro? What's mean self, other than the Eibishter, nish the Eibishter? How will he not feel the Eibishter? By the Eibishter totally hiding himself. And so we don't have no feeling. It says if we would feel the Eibishter, we would feel our creator, we wouldn't feel self. Our whole self, which that's the whole base of our mitzvah, the yesh, is only because we don't feel the Eibishter. But like we feel the Eibishter, we can. Then we'll be is nivra. So in order biyasha to be to exist, there has to be the zin of melucha, the Eibishter of hiding himself. That's the zin of gvuris to the total. That's why keser malchus is the idea of kavasmil. That's melucha is kavasmil. But kein gam a keser malchus of a kavasmil. Therefore, even the keser malchus, whatever exactly is keser malchus, the will to have to become a king, or the pleasure of becoming a king, it's also the idea of smil, because it's all connected with being removed, not revealed, withheld. Say, keser teira, so keser teira is in the middle line. Why? So here he brings the kaneda bagimut worden, which the leim elmeime teira bedig mos chasodim. We know the teira become a mitzvah. It's explained in the man place of Chassidud. The teira has two unionim of gvuris and chasodim. You have the pasuk. It says mine eish das lami. The Eibishter gives from his right hand. He gave a fire of teira to the people, which it's included both opposites. One of it's right, which is chesed, and then there's fire, which is gvuris. Then there's the mitzvah and mitzvah leisasa, do and the not do. That's to give, that's the doing is connection, and then leisasa you can't do, don't do. That's the idea of gvuris, and teira has both, and that's the beauty of teira. So that's the teira is kavem tzoi. So upon that's the three ksorim. So l'chura, this is a pirush in the Mishnah Poshet. To see a wider way, till now we understand there's ksorim, here in Mitamal Mishnah of Gimel ksorim. So he explains how do you have three ksorim, because there's three kav in the middle, every kav has its keser. And what's a keser altogether? So this is the Ikir HaMaimer and Ikir HaTcholos HaHemshech, this is what he's basing on. What is a crown? First it's keser, it's a crown, but what's keser? When you say Lamailo keser, what does it mean? Dehine. He said, but part of Shar Erkeak Inuim, it says in part this, Erech keser. There's a sefer, Erkeak Inuim, which is in the entire, every kinui, every description. It speaks of what a keser is. Zelashen. Yesh pirush miloshen hamtona. It means waiting. Kemei ktarli, wait for me a bit. That's what he says. He brings this lotion. Yesh pirush. Vakavone. What does he mean? Vakavone. This is all the lotion of the parties. The Ramak. Vakavon al tachshiv b'mokim hazeh klal. Don't think here at all. Omnom hamtein. Wait achis pashit. V'oz tuchalahovin. Wait till this thing is expressed, explained, and then you'll be able to understand. Came Pirush again. There's a state you can't understand. That's Keser. In other words, we know now that Keser means, wait, forget, now, in other words, Lamayla is Keser, they're saying, now, wait, now the Eibush is not revealed. Atzilas, that's Gilui, that's when the Eibush is going to be revealed, but can't verstehen the Eibush. That's the way the Gehenim explain. Was that Gamkein, and this is included, the Rebbe Rashab is explaining, but this is included also, Pirish, Keser, Loshen, Shtike. This includes also the idea of being quiet, the Hainu, where he says the Loshen, Hamtainli. Wait, don't say anything. Why can't I say anything? Why do I have to hold back? Because there's nothing to say. There's nothing to explain. Like the story of the two Chassidim, Zalmesha asked, it's like she heard, then he once went to a big mosque, went to Meshki Gerari. He asked him, what's different Gesois, what exactly? He asked him, what's Pshitis or what's Atzilis? So he said, well, I'm going to explain it to you. You know the story?
We just talked. We just mentioned the story.
So he said, how can I explain it? So he said, explain it. You can't explain it. Whatever. Till he got him to start speaking. He started speaking to him.
Smack.
He says, this is Atzilus. And he gave a 5. He says, dos is Atzilus. You can learn the story for a few days, but that's not the good is that he wanted to say, you start explaining the Eibishter, you're already off. You're already off. You're not speaking about the Eibishter. You're saying, not the Eibishter. It's very, whatever, in other words, what he's saying is not just what you're saying, what you think you understand, what you think you have it out. It's anything. When we understand it, it's not the way the thing is. The thing is Shalei Berech. There's part of it that's being revealed to us that I can have a grasp and understand something, but it's not the thing the way it is. He said, you have a 5 means the realization that I can get it. A 5 is a whistle. He gave a whistle. He got the story.
No, I'm listening to it.
The story finished already. That was the end of the story. The story was, he asked him, what's the pshat? What does it mean? Atzilus or pshitas? What does it mean? Simplicity? So he told him, he doesn't want to tell him. He told him, he started explaining it. Then he says, he gave him they're a good friend. Don't think that they weren't good friends. The Meish Gerari would come every Fabring to the Zalmesha. Every Fabring, Zalmesha was Fabring often, every Shabbos. He would go, he had the whole walk, he went and I know he was older, but anyways, he went to him every week to hear his Fabringen. He was bucket in the Gans. Once, the whole story came, he didn't come to the Fabringen, anyway. So he walked to him, the whole story, anyways, the Nakud is they were very close.